Hello, vinyl community. In case you didn't know it, this is George Allen. Vinyl LPs and CDs. I'm doing another in my series of reviewing the wonderful VCLT that I have received. And I got 3 albums I'm going to be talking about today. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be covering all of them. Today first I'm going to talk about, I'm taking these in chronological order of when they were originally recorded. So today I'm going to talk about one that I was sent by Carlos from As the Table Turns, and it's going to be Bill Evans. Everybody digs Bill Evans. And on the front cover, he got endorsements from Miles Davis, who he had been playing with in his band prior to recording this, also from George Shearing, and from Ahmad Jamal, and from Cannonball Adderley. And this record, Everybody Digs Bill Evans, his trio on this was Sam Jones on bass and Philly Joe Jones on drums. This was recorded in December of 1958, was released though in early 1959. This was his second record as a band leader. Now, I did some talking in earlier videos of his next trio, which was comprised of Scott LaFaro on bass and Paul Motion on drums. Much different trio. Younger guys, they played much tighter together. Bill Evans with this trio, much looser. For some reason, I have a notion, I didn't check exactly, but I have a feeling that Sam Jones and Philly Joe Jones were a little bit older than him. And it's more piano on this, and you don't feel the tightness. It's great music. It's a wonderful album. Bill Evans, piano, excellent on this. Sam Jones and Philly Joe Jones, when they play, very good. Philly Joe Jones has a few riffs, wonderful. It's a very well produced, very well recorded album. No complaints from George Allen. However, if I was to rank it compared to his next trio, I think this one's, it's different. It's just different, let me say that. Bill Evans, I think, was still trying to figure out where to go, and he really developed further with his other trio after this. But a good album. Good album. I liked it. I appreciate receiving it, and I'll play it often. Next, I'm going to go to an album sent to me by Drew at Diamond Needles. Eddie Harris, Come On Down. This one has some interesting music. I like it a lot. It's really funky jazz album. As soon as I started listening to this, what came to my mind, this is 1970. Eddie Harris, I was surprised, had a boatload of releases. This one is really a funky soul type jazz. As I said, when I first listened to it, it reminded me immediately of Herbie Hancock's Headhunters. Now, Herbie Hancock did Headhunters about 3 years after this, but this recorded in Miami at Criterion Studios, and what's interesting is when I was working in Miami. I lived there for almost 20 years. My office where I worked was only about a mile from Criterion Studios. And a lot of times some of the little Latin restaurant, Cuban restaurants I go to, a lot of musicians would come in there for lunch. Whether Eddie Harris was in there, I don't know. But there were some other guys used to come in there. Good album. I like it a lot. I like this style of music. I like that funky type music because I like Herbie Hancock's Headhunters. This is a great album. I enjoy it a lot. Donald Duck Dunn plays bass on it. And Donald Duck Dunn, you know, he was on Blues Brothers. He's played on a lot of other albums that you'd be surprised the ones he's on. So, good album. Eddie Harris, Come On Down. Last one I'm going to talk about is from one I received recently. You probably just saw the video. Cooter's Jazz. I got this from Tony P. Two from the trunk. And this surprised me. This surprised me a lot. I thought it was going to be like a straight up jazz. However, what it turned out to be was a really old-timey, ragtime Dixieland jazz type album. It's more of the Jelly Roll Morton or Bix Beiderbecke type jazz. Wonderful. Love it. I've been to New Orleans many times, more times than I can remember. And I love going to Preservation Hall or hearing these guys in some clubs where they just play that old timey ragtime jazz. And he's done a wonderful job with these musicians, and it's just really a different album. And I just enjoy it a lot. And one reviewer said this. He says, Cooter did an ambitious excursion into vintage jazz. And I believe it. You know, I've just been getting more into Cooter lately with the Buena Vista Social Club. And he did an excellent job with that, and I'm going to be reviewing some of that stuff and some of the future ones, because I got some of that too, thanks to some people in the vinyl community. And but this is just a really wonderful album. If you want to get into some historic jazz, take you back to the Old South, this is one to have. It's great, great, well recorded, well produced, and sounds great. The music is a little different than what you're used to hearing, but it's wonderful to have. I love it a lot. And I thank all these guys that have been sending me this stuff, and I'm going to keep on doing these reviews. See you in the vinyl community. Bye-bye.